Good evening, everybody. Keith here. Hoping everybody's having a good day, enjoying life, living life, loving life. We're going to get back on and talk about this foreign state status and nationality and all that. It's a very important issue when we talk about our private membership association, to be able to clarify the differences. And so we're going to talk a little bit here about what the U.S. Code says about nationality. If you remember my previous videos here recently, we've been talking about the private membership association and establishing that you're a foreign state. And what that foreign state means is you have a foreign sovereign immunity to the states or the United States. Why? Because they're all operating in commerce. Pure and simple. That's the only way they can exist, is through a commercial system. So you have a foreign sovereign immunity against any of their commercial acts, as well as any claims to any torts that they commit on the private side, such as the trespasses and things like that, by those acts. That's you hold them in their personal capacity for their corporate acts, their commercial acts, in their private capacity as a private man for actually committing the acts, the physical acts of signing the documents and stuff. And so when we talk about nationality and foreign state and everything, in accordance to their code, it is written, so shall it be, or so it shall be. In the Title 8 of the U.S. Code, Section 1481, we talk about the loss of nationality by native born or naturalized citizen, voluntary action, burden of proof, and presumptions. Okay, this is telling you right here, they already presume that you're national, because they instituted documentation saying so after you were born. They put it on and for the record that you were United States, that there's a United States citizen exists. And from that time, everybody believes that they are the United States citizen. That is not so. The United States citizen is a civilly dead entity known as a corporate person. That corporate person was drawn up in abstract information from a handwritten document, from an original statement that had handwriting on it. It was then typed up. And from that time on, it's had other people's signatures that have nothing to do with yourself. You are a foreign state to them. They do everything on the commercial side, period, plain and simple. And so when we talk about the loss of nationality and stuff, Title 8 of the U.S. Code, Section 1481, starts out with a person. What is a person? A person is a corporate entity. So let's get that right first. So when we're talking about loss of nationality by native born or naturalized citizen, okay, let's understand that, or comprehend that nationality and a naturalized citizen are two different things. A naturalized citizen is somebody that comes from a foreign nation and is now agreeing to be a citizen of a military force that is not of origin of theirs. They are agreeing to enter a foreign state and become part of that foreign state. They are doing that by a commercial agreement because the military is commercialized. It's a contract, okay? They're actually putting an adult signature on there and performing a contract. In regards to the birth certificate, that's called naturalization. That's called nationality. That's called being native born nationality. Okay? And we have to clarify the differences. So when it says a person who is a national of the United States, whether by birth or naturalization, Notice here they have not spoken of citizen. Shall lose his nationality by voluntarily performing any of the following acts with the intention of relinquishing United States nationality. First it says, number 1, obtaining naturalization in a foreign state upon his own application or upon an application filed by a duly authorized agent after having attained the age of 18 years, or taking an oath or making an affirmation or other formal declaration of allegiance to a foreign state or a political subdivision thereof after having attained the age of 18 years, or entering or serving in the armed forces of a foreign state if A, such armed forces are engaged in hostilities against the United States, or B, such persons serve as a commissioned or non-commissioned officer, or, and we're going to stop right here because I want to cover a couple points here. Notice they haven't said one word about citizen. But they do talk about a duly authorized agent obtaining naturalization in a foreign state upon his own application. Doesn't say filing somebody else's application, but upon his own application. So this is where we have to apply ourselves and use our own wording in our own affidavits and declarations and notices in establishing our PMA. Not filing their documents and then saying, see, we filed a document in your system. If they don't want to show you that document, they're going to make you do a Freedom of Information request. They're going to make you do all kinds of shit and say, well, it doesn't apply. You can't get that record. We hear about this in the transcripts. They tell you got to pay for them. Bullshit. That's my motherfucking intellectual property, bitches. That's why I've got a copy of mine. Didn't pay a damn dime for it either. So, when it comes to this foreign state, you have to know what you're talking about and comprehend. Again, I'm pointing out here, they haven't spoken of citizenship, and we're going to talk about that here in a minute. Because now we're going to go back up here to National of the United States. This is in the A section where they first state it. And when we click on that tag, it says National of the United States. Now get this, people. The term National of the United States means A citizen of the United States, or B, a person who, though not a citizen of the United States, owes permanent allegiance to the United States. So what they're saying is if you were born a native, you're native born, they're considering you, they're implying, they're presuming that you are a United States citizen. Otherwise, all your life you would have been indoctrinated to believe that you were a United States national. But now we have this naturalized citizen. Again, they're using native, naturalized, and national. Nationalization. You have to clarify this stuff. I was native born. I was born live, native to this land called the Americas. I'm foreign to the United States corporation that uses the fictional entities called persons, citizens, and nationals. See, I hold no allegiance to a nationality. I hold an ecclesiastical allegiance to the word that's written. It is written, so shall it be. Genesis 17, verse 1, I am Almighty God. So long as ye follow my way, ye shall be blameless. Now, as far as I know, that means I'm even blameless if I declare that I have no nationality under that pretense. How can you claim that I have to profess some kind of nationality when it's also spoken that I'm supposed to be a steward of his house, to go forth and prosper and be abundant, as I'm given dominion over land, air, and water, and the creatures thereof. I've been given up every plant and seed to take advantage of, to use, not take advantage of, but to use, to go forth and prosper and be abundant, so that I can increase the knowledge within my younger generation so that they have abundance themselves already and don't have to struggle, so that they can grow in that abundance and provide an even greater abundance for the next generation. So when we talk about national, we're talking about a citizen, and a citizen is national. They're both the same goddamn thing. So anytime we talk about naturalization or national or citizen, we have to think about that, and if we're really going to fall for it. See, when we talk about a foreign state, we're talking about a foreign state, period. Let's not get into national and citizen, because it's none of your business whether I claim to be a national of this organization or that organization. I'm a private member of this association. Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of a religion. And it's my belief that I have a right to declare my own foreign state. Now, if you want to use certain terminology, that's up to you, but I don't recognize it because that's in your state. So you have to be able to describe it in my language. You know, I spoke about this in my other video, my previous video, about being able to transcribe their documents into the language of the foreign the foreign state that they're giving notice of a suit to. If you can't translate it, if they can't give you a translation into the language that you comprehend, then there's no one-to-one communication. And so you don't have to understand them, and I don't. I don't understand. I've got to ask for a point of clarification here. You talk about a national. Can we clarify that? In a national, you say citizen. Are you trying to make a fool of me by claiming I have stating on your forms that I have to claim some kind of nationality? The best I can describe is in my foreign state status that I'm, according to your rules and regulations, I would be known as a state national. But I again assert Genesis 17 verse 1, where it says, I am Almighty God, so long as ye follow my way, ye shall be blameless. And so long as I'm blameless, I'm going to point out Romans 13, where it says I'm to follow my government, but only so long as my government is following his laws. And like I said, so long as ye follow my way, ye shall be blameless. Now, if I'm blameless, who is blameless for the controversy at hand? Is it the court? Are they following his way? Are they abiding by recognition that I have dominion of the land, air, and water? I have dominion of law? In the beginning was Word. Is it my word or their word? Are they translating that legalese into something that I can comprehend? Fuck no, they're not. 93.1 of the Title 22 of the Code of Federal Regulations and 93.2 of Title 22 of the Code of Federal Regulations, along with the Foreign Sovereign Immunities Act, pointed out to, and you haven't given me proper notice because I'm a foreign state. I'm foreign to your state. It even declares in their codes. I'll have to find it sometime, but every court is foreign to each other. Every entity is foreign to each other. That's why we have this statement of equality among the law, because everybody's different. I'm foreign to my own father. My father is foreign to me. Yet, my father is your father is my father. Why? In spirit. So long as ye follow my way, ye shall be blameless. Love thy neighbor as thyself. Don't blame them. So then we talk about in a foreign state, and we click on foreign state. It says the term foreign state includes any outlying possession of a foreign state. But self-governing dominions or territories under mandate or trusteeship shall be regarded as separate foreign states. Self-governing dominions. But self-governing dominions or territories under mandate or trusteeship shall be regarded as separate foreign states. Highest law of the land is ecclesiastical. Right there, that's your dominion. And they will recognize it. Those judges sit on those benches with the highest laws that they have to follow, or the church's canon laws. Direct from the Vatican. Possessions. Outlying possessions. The term foreign state includes outlying possessions of a foreign state. And that means, even though my domicile is something somebody calls my house, that is not the limitation of my dominion. That is only my private area, my private space. I still have the free will to go out and mix amongst my brothers and sisters, my fathers and mothers, my sons and daughters, my nieces and nephews, my cousins. All of the rest of life to seek what I shall find. To find what I shall seek. Hear no evil, see no evil, speak no evil bullshit. If I see it, I will speak it so you can hear it and see it yourself. So when we talk about a foreign state, each and every one of us is foreign to each other. The only time anybody can bring any kind of action against another one is through either a commercial contract of some sort or through a criminal tort, some kind of trespass tort. So think about this stuff. When we talk about nationality, let me see. It says the term naturalization means the conferring of a nationality of a state upon a person at birth by any means whatsoever. Okay, so what they did, again, like I said, they took this handwritten document that had some cursive writing on it, and they translated that information into legalese. Okay, they converted it, and they copied down the abstract information and created the term naturalization means the conferring of nationality of a state upon a person. The conferring of a nationality of a state is the conferring of a title. Okay? Upon a person. They gave a person a title. Okay? That's the creation of the person. The person doesn't exist until he's given a title of existence. Now he has a nationality. By any means whatsoever. So all they did was confer some information. And that was the creation of a nationality for a person. Now, that doesn't say that you have to have a nationality yourself. Nowhere does it say you have to claim a nationality. All you have to do is point it out. Naturalization is the term. Naturalization means the conferring of a nationality. What is conferring? In this sense, conferring is to give an official title, honor, or advantage to someone. Notice, to give an official title, honor, or advantage to someone. Not another person, but someone. So here it says, to give an official title, honor, or advantage. Now the honor can't be on the person and the advantage can't be on the person. They can only be on someone. But to give an official title, honor, or advantage, that title that was created is now given to someone. Who? The keeper of records. It's given to the registrar, the county registrar. Okay? Now comprehend, that's their record. That's not your record. Again. So this is why we have to establish our own PMA and establish that we are foreign to them, and we don't have to claim a nationality. We just have to claim that we're foreign to them. Now, if they want to enter my PMA, it's going to cost them. It's going to cost them to access the information that they are looking for. It's going to cost them for me to confer information showing any description of what might be considered nationality or title or honor. I don't hold any of them. So long as I follow his way, I shall be blameless. I don't know of any nationality. I am a son of one of his sons, and they've claimed some kind of nationality, and all I know is it's derived from that last name, that family name, which is a locational thing of where I come from, an origin. Now, throughout history, that information has been perverted, converted, and conveyed and conferred in so many different ways, by any means necessary, by any means whatsoever, including force, coercion, threats, war, killing, murder, raping, robbing, pillaging. So today I don't know the exact truth of it. All I can do is proclaim that so long as I follow his way, I shall be blameless. You have to prove yourself what your claim of nationality is. Prove that it applies to me, because in my private association, I don't know of a nationality. All I can do is use the words that you use to show the separation between yourself and myself as a foreign state. I don't possess the same things you do, even intellectually. I have a right to believe what I believe. And so long as I come forth in peace and love and honoring his word and doing things his way, I know I'm supposed to be blameless in that belief. So when we go back to the Title 8 of the United States Code, Section 1481 in nationality, we're going to step on to the next one where it says number 4. And this is an important one because we see earlier, by taking an oath, let's see here. And number 3, entering or serving in the armed forces of a foreign state if A, such armed forces are engaged in hostilities against the United States, or such persons serve as a commissioned or non-commissioned officer, or, and this is where number 4 comes in pertinent here, because it ties in with number 3 in entering or serving in the armed forces of a foreign state, accepting, serving in, or performing the duties of any office, post, or employment under the government of a foreign state or political subdivision thereof after attaining the age of 18 years, if he has or acquires the nationality of such foreign state. Now, I want everybody to think about McDonald's, Walmart. When you fill out an application, do you become Do you accept, serve, perform the duties of any office, post, or employment under the government of a foreign state or a political subdivision thereof, after attaining the age of 18 years, if he has or acquires the nationality of such foreign state? When you fill out an employment application, are you now becoming a member of a foreign state to the United States? Or are you furthering your application within that same corporate United States? Because McDonald's is following along with the revenue codes and everything that the United States requires in order to operate. Do you see how the government is extending the commercial system into everyday employment? Do you understand the concept of going out and getting a job? You ever read the book of Job? J-O-B. It's not J-O-B-E, it's J-O-B. And you go out and get a job and become employed. Are you a U.S. citizen? Yep. You mark it down on every employment application, every medical statement, all your bank documents. No, you're not. You're a foreign state. Foreign state. They're going to ask for your nationality. Well, I don't have a nationality, but I'm foreign to the United States. If you care, we can enter into a private agreement where I can show you my private membership association, certain information. It'll cost you. You know, it's contractual. See, you're under contract with the United States government, but you don't want to contract with me. You want to try to use those regulations against me. So when the government steps in and says, "Okay, we'll back up this thing, and we're going to assert that you have to prove to us." Okay, the U.S. government's got to enter into a contract then. Who's going to stand up and sign that document? They're not. They're not. So now we get into a little bit further. It says, or B, accepting, serving in, or performing the duties of any office, post, or employment under the government of a foreign state or political subdivision thereof after attaining the age of 18 years, for which office, post, or employment an oath, affirmation, or declaration of allegiance is required. Required. Is a declaration or oath of allegiance required to be in the militia? Or do you have an automatic right to stand up with your brothers in arms? This is a very serious point here, people. This is a subversion of your rights. And what they're doing here is double speak. They're trying to convince you, even through and comprehend, people. When they write these codes, they write them. The average American only has a 7th grade reading comprehension, and they're writing these at like a 24 grade reading level. So think about that and realize how much you really got to slow down and start reading this stuff. And we've only got a few more here, but there's only one more that I want to read, and that's number 7. Committing any act of treason against or attempting by force to overthrow or bearing arms against the United States, violating or conspiring to violate any of the provisions of Section 2383 of Title 18, rebellion or insurrection, or willfully performing, comprehend these words, performing any act in violation of Section 2385 of Title 18, which is advocating the overthrow of government, and then 2384, which they talk of here next, is the sedition. So you have treason, the overthrow of government, and sedition. And when we go further, or violating sections 2384 of Title 18 by engaging in a conspiracy to overthrow, put down, or to destroy by force the government of the United States, or to levy war against them, if and when he is convicted thereof by a court-martial or by a court of competent jurisdiction. So when we talk about treason, we're talking about a court-martial. That's your militia. That's your military. And then it says, or by a court of competent jurisdiction. What would treason be in any court of competent jurisdiction other than that of a military court, a military tribunal? So don't let these people sit there and portray that they're going to sit there in their corporate courts and provide any kind of acts or motions or orders for treason against the people. They take anybody in these courts and sit there and start applying offenses of treason against a live man. That itself is treason. Just like any commercial act against a man, a live man in these courts, without recognizing him as a foreign state to that corporate fiction. And the corporate acts thereof is treason himself. That's treason. All the way from top to bottom. It's all treason. Every last bit of it. Why? Because it's working for the United States government. It works perfectly when the people are caught up in indoctrination, propaganda, education of cognitive dissonance. It's important to learn this stuff, people. Committing any act of treason is a military act. So when they try to accuse you of filing treasonous paperwork or seditious paperwork or anything like that, filing paperwork trying to make movements against the acts of government, that's why it's so important to establish your PMA and do so in ecclesiastical format, peace of love. I'm not here to harm anybody. I'm not here to commit any acts of war. I'm not here in a military fashion. I'm here to speak peace and truth and pass it on so that we can all become better enhanced in life and more prosperous and abundant in love, so we can pass that on. Pay it forward. So, again, when we talk about nationality, we're talking about acts against the government, sedition, treason, and I don't profess a nationality. I'm your brother. You're my brothers and sisters. Nor the way about it. Love thy neighbor as thyself. I fully believe that. And love thy God with all thy heart, body, and soul. And so long as I follow his way, I shall be blameless. So I hope you don't hold me accountable for anything. I hope you don't put a ledger out and send me a bill. I'd prefer to talk to you about it face to face. So think about it. So when we talk about nationality in 8 of the United States Code 1481, realize they're talking about acts of war and the importance thereof. That's why I said you're born in a military institution. When you go to a hospital, you're born in a military institution that's called a foreign state. They're accepting the conference of that physical body and being able to take care of that physical body and bring it into existence under their military venue, under their dome, under their vaulted chambers in their wards, that they will consider that a ward of the state? What state? So we go back to that family register. Remember, old Bibles used to have a family register in them, and they still print them. You can still get a family Bible with a register in it. I suggest a 1611 version of the King James Version. 1611 edition of the King James Version, with a family register in it, and start announcing the existence of your heirs and your future generations in that when they come about. Have your mom and dad there when you're having your baby, and as they write it down, have them talking to the nurses and asking them, will you sign as a witness? State employees signing as a witness in an ecclesiastical matter for yourself on a non-contractual basis because they were first-hand witnesses. Anything you say can and will be used against you in a court of law. Start having them speak it. Have them get on the stand and testify. Yeah, they signed both a commercial instrument for the state, and they signed a ecclesiastical statement for a foreign state. So now it's an international forum, and God, we're talking about federal jurisdiction. See, that's the whole thing. That's why these courts don't want you to comprehend this, because then you realize it's federal jurisdiction because you're a foreign state. And they have to follow federal guidelines in dealing with foreign states. They have to give them notice through diplomatic channels. Title 22 of the Code of Federal Regulations 93.1 and 93.2 in concurrence and uniform with the Foreign Sovereign Immunities Act. This is why we have the Savings to Suitors Clause in the Federal Reserve Act. And I misstated yesterday in my video that the Foreign Sovereign Immunities Act is in the Federal Reserve Act. It's not. It's just denoted in there through certain like wording. If you read this stuff, you'll find out how to follow it and see where the things are uniform throughout the codes. See, you're not liable in the UCC. See, you're a foreign state in accordance with the United States. So you have a Foreign Sovereign Immunities Act. You're not liable through the Foreign Sovereign Immunities Act. You're not liable through the Savings to Suitors Clause. You're not liable through the Commerce Clause of the U.S. Constitution. You're not liable through the First Amendment of the Constitution. See, these are all things that you have to comprehend when you're reading this stuff and putting it all together. You have a right to assert your own rights under your own beliefs. And that alone, again, comprehend people. You can go anywhere and ask anybody, let alone any court, and ask them if you have the right to believe what you wish to believe. They have to say yes, because according to the First Amendment, we have a right to that belief. We have a right to that religious, that spiritual belief. And Congress shall make no law respecting the establishment of that belief. Okay? You can turn around and ask them a second question. Do I have the right to make my own choices? And they're going to say, They have to. Everybody has unlimited right to contract. That's the right to make your own choices. Do I have the right to ask them that third question? Do I have the right to change my mind at any time for any reason? That's your unlimited right to contract again as well. When we look at a contract that goes askew for some reason, for some natural occurrence or something, we have the right to say, okay, well, I want to cut my losses here because it's going to be detrimental to me, and that's not the purpose of contracting. The purpose of contracting is that all parties give equal consideration for equal benefit. If a contract becomes detrimental to any party at any time, it can be quashed by that party. Okay? And we see this in Saunders versus Vautier. Saunders versus Vautier. That's a 1841 trust case in which it's clarified that the beneficiary, even though he has nothing to do with the contract of the trust, He was assigned as a beneficiary by the executor, by the grantor, and a trustee was assigned. He has no say in that beneficiary position except to accept it or deny it. He cannot change the terms and conditions of it except to collapse the trust. He has that right as part of that contractual basis to be benefit or detrimental. If it's not if he doesn't determine that it's beneficial to him, or he doesn't want to take acceptance of the benefits because he doesn't accept them in his beliefs to be beneficial to him, then he doesn't have to accept it. That's the ultimate, that's your unlimited right of contract, unlimited powers of contract. You do not have to accept, even if it's conferred by whatever means upon you, to be beneficiary. And therefore, when the state confers benefit of person through that United States State Citizen 14th Amendment trust of the Public Charitable Trust, you do not have to accept it. And at any point in time you find out that it's detrimental, you can say, no, I no longer wish to accept it. And that's the end of it. You do not have to put it in writing. Let my yea be my yea and my nay be my nay. Period. How dare you try to enforce your transcripted legislation upon myself without proper translation so that I can comprehend it? Because I don't understand a word you say, I will ask for point of clarification on every word used. Because it said, anything you say can and will be used against you in law, and so shall it be. I'll not have you using those words against me. Doctors operate. What are they operating in? They're operating in a military venue regulated by commerce itself, which is sole purpose is for taxation. And taxation is to take advantage of the people. It doesn't take advantage of persons, it takes advantage of the people. Persons don't perform labor and create the substance. It's not taking advantage of another person, it's taking advantage of the people. The entire commercial system does that. 5. Making a formal renunciation of nationality before a diplomatic or consular officer of the United States in a foreign state in such form as may be prescribed by the Secretary of State or. So let's look at consular officer. The term consular officer means any consular, diplomatic, or other officer or employee of the United States designated under regulations prescribed under authority contained in this chapter for the purpose of issuing immigrant or non-immigrant visas, or when used in subchapter 3 for the purposes of adjudicating nationality. Source 8 USC code, or 8 USC section 1101. So we see making a formal renunciation is one of the things for loss of nationality. So we look at the word or. That's all we have to do. Or. It doesn't say you have to do all of these. It just says make a formal renunciation of nationality or diplomatic or before a diplomatic or consular office. Okay? So who is that consular officer? Who drew up the document to begin with? County registrar. Notice of agent is notice, or notice of principal is notice to agent. Notice to agent is notice to principal. So think about this stuff in regards to your PMA. this is where you're going to file your notice of foreign state status as a private member association. And you're not going to give them your private member association. You're not going to give them your documents. You're just going to give them a notice that it exists. You're going to put a notice in the newspaper that you have established your own private membership association. And this is the title. This is who it is. And contact information. That's all you got to do for your public notification, because your documentation is still going to be private. You still want to keep that private. Just a short, quick notice in the legal section of the paper. Private membership association established. On and for the record. Hereby let it be known, da-da-da-da, has established his own private member association known as, da-da-da-da-da, you know. And then, when you get that, you get a receipt from the publisher, and you make a filing noticing the county of your foreign state status. Notice to principal is notice to agent, and notice to principal. Certified copies too, and then they're supposed to send certified copies to all the people that you list. And I suggest you find a list of about, I think the last I recorded or researched one was 121 different agencies. But you're giving them notice. And then they're supposed to follow the chain and give everybody notice along. And you just give them a list of people they're supposed to notice. You don't have to notice them yourself, but you notice them. It's on and for the record, file stamped and sealed, da-da-da-da. You keep that file number in your PMA as part of your PMA, so that anytime somebody wants to accost you on the roadside or anything, you can hand them a PMA sealed and with a note on the outside of the file document number and the cost for opening that PMA despite the file number, and knowing that you are a foreign state. Knowing that they are a foreign state and they are trying to perform commercial activities, again, back to the Clearfield Doctrine, you now have access to that Clearfield Doctrine, proving that they are exemplifying actions in commerce, because you have stated so through your own PMA that it will cost them to access it. And if they step further upon that, they have been given notice that it is a commercial transaction. So think about this stuff, people. There's a couple more things on there that you can read, and I always suggest that you get in here and read it, and if you don't comprehend it, ask questions. Check out all these blue line, underlined, highlighted links, and familiarize yourself with those. Find out what the differences are, why they use United States and only blue line highlight states instead of United States. You'll see different places they do it different ways. Just so follow those links. Find out what the differences are. You'll see motor vehicle defined in different sections. Find out how they define them differently in different sections. Figure out why. So, anyway, I've gone on about enough about this. I just wanted to get on here and explain a little bit more about your foreign state status and how to research it, how to assert it in your own in reference to yourself, and how it applies to yourself. Like I said, I'm foreign to my own father. My father is foreign to myself. Each and every one of us is foreign to each other, and that is the basis of we're all equal, and no one has jurisdiction over another. And that's why anytime you bring anything into one of these courts, it's commercial. Every last time it's going to be commercial. Even if you go to a court of arbitration, you got to enter into a commercial venue, because you got to pay the arbitrator in order to arbitrate it. Because you weren't able to go to your brother and resolve the dispute in private. So now you've activated a third-person party, or third-party person. Third-party person. Why is it a third-party person? Well, because as a third party, if you're already in a dispute, with another party and they enter into it, they don't want to get involved in the dispute. They don't want it to harm them. They don't want to get in a fight. They don't want to get in a war. So as a third party mediator, they're going to charge you on a commercial basis, say, okay, I need indemnification. I need some kind of trust that if I move forward and I listen to both of you rationally, logically, and I put forth a rational, logical resolution, you both follow it and don't come after me and create a war upon me. This is the importance of going to your brother firsthand before you be drugged before the judge. Because now you're involving third and fourth and fifth and sixth and seventh party persons, and it's a big war. There is no peace. Learn how to manage your affairs yourself. And remember, don't go out and get a Job unless you know what you're doing. Think about this stuff and really comprehend what they're doing here. This is the nationality citizen thing, like I pointed out. I'll go back and I'll read it again. When it comes to naturalization, it says the term naturalization means the conferring of nationality of a state upon a person after birth by any means whatsoever. Okay? And when it comes to national of the United States, we are talking about a citizen of the United States or a person who, though not a citizen of the United States, owes permanent allegiance to the United States. So think about this stuff and realize it's just, a national is just another person. It's still just another corporate fictional entity. It's the exact same thing as a citizen. And anytime you're a citizen, comprehend, a citizen doesn't exist in reality. A citizen is a fictional construct of a corporate person. That's all it is. Period. There is no such thing as a real citizen. Title 8 of the United States Code, let's see here, no, let's see, Title 18. I think it's U.S. 18 of the United States Code 911. 911! Says citizen of the United States. Whoever falsely and willfully presents himself to be a citizen of the United States shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 3 years or both. So when you declare yourself as a citizen of the United States on that driver license, comprehend that a citizen of the United States is a fictional entity. As a live man, you cannot possibly be a citizen of the United States. So, when one falsely or willfully represents himself to be a citizen of the United States, what's happened is, upon the birth certificate, the United States has conferred a nationality. They have conferred a citizen by whatever means necessary. By any means whatsoever. That's the specific wording. Any means whatsoever. And what they did was literally, only, literally, conferred a nationality or citizenship upon a person. In other words, they created a person. In the creation of that person, they presented that person in the form of a birth certificate, a certificate of live birth, a Social Security account. They presented that person. Now, they have given you the authorization to represent that person. Authorized representative by authorized signature is not liable on the instrument for the person named in the instrument. Again, clarifying that you are not the citizen. You are not the national. So when you claim on the Social Security application SS5 that you are a United States citizen or a national of the United States, and then mark down in the bottom right hand corner to be self. Like I said, a man's intellect is limited and biased by his vocabulary. They know that you have marked that form as a United States citizen, representing yourself to be that citizen and not as the representative. That's why when you look back in my videos and you see that video on the SS5 Social Security application corrections, you'll see that you mark off other for nationality. And you correct it by giving them an affidavit of foreign state status with an oath of allegiance. And in that bottom right hand corner, instead of marking self, you mark other, authorized representative. Okay? That's why this is all so important. Whoever falsely and willfully represents himself to be a citizen of the United States shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 3 years or both. You cannot possibly be the United States citizen. You can only be representative of the United States citizen. And they have authorized you to do so through the COLB, which is a certificate of live birth, the SSA, which is a Social Security account, which you are the card holder of the person who holds the account. The person holds the account. That it was created by the United States. It's their account. It's the Public Charitable Trust. And you are foreign to it as an authorized representative. And that itself, again, is proof you are a foreign state, given authorized representative capacity. But it's also proof that you've done so under contract. Unwittingly, unknowingly, and unintentionally. But, again, proof that you've done so under contract. It's a bank account. It's an account. It's a ledgering account. It's a commercial account. And therefore, there is a commercial transaction applying here. So the government has stepped in commercially already from the day you were born. Period. Clearfield Doctrine applies. So we got to think about this stuff and realize, let's take you to the next one. This is important in regards to trade or business that I've been mentioning lately in my videos. And this is at the very next section in the same title. Title 18 of the United States Code, Section 912. It says, officer or employee of the United States. Whoever falsely assumes or pretends to be an officer or employee acting under the authority of the United States or any department, agency, or officer thereof, and acts as such or in such pretended character, demands or obtains any money, paper, document, or thing of value shall be fined under this title or imprisoned not more than 3 years or both. Now remember when I spoke earlier about when you go to McDonald's and you filed an application for employment to get a JOB. Officer or employee. Employee is synonymous throughout the industry, throughout the commercial industry, because it's being done for trade or business. Comprehend this stuff. McDonald's doesn't have a contract on the international sale of goods with the United States to hire people. It has a commercial code it follows in accordance to the contract on the international sale of goods with the United States they hold to export their goods and services to the rest of the country or to the rest of the world. They abide by the United States codes, which regulates them through the commerce that the United States regulates. They have to follow according to the Federal Reserve notes that are being used in order to set a standard wage of which to hire people. Otherwise, as a foreign state from the United States, they could use a foreign currency. You know, something that might have substance back. And if they used a foreign currency that had something that was backed by substance, wouldn't that draw more people to work for them? That's why the United States has a monopoly on the currency, so that they can employ all the corporations. And then once the corporations are employed under the United States government, everybody that goes out to get a job is now in employment of the United States, because on that application, oh yeah, I'm a United States citizen. So you really got to think about this stuff, people. Everything. I question everything now. And I hope you guys do too. Because it's sick to think that trade or business is something that's conducted in the performance of a public office. And the public office is strictly for commerce. It's not for the people, it's for commerce. It has to be for commerce in order to uphold the business affairs of the people, since the business affairs of the people have been made commercial. See, my business affairs aren't commercial any longer. Mine are ministerial. My affairs are according to what I believe, and not to some commercial system. That's what comes first, my beliefs. My beliefs determine my choices. My choices determine, the experience with my choices determines whether I want to keep making that same choice or if I want to change my mind. So think about this stuff, people, and realize you determine yourself. You don't have to accept what they determine as a nationality, and it clearly says it only applies to them. Once you determine your foreign state in the proper sense and learn how to question everything they try to portray as, well, you got to subject yourself to this terminology in order to be in accordance with national law. No, you don't. What's national law based on? Ecclesiastical law. What's ecclesiastical law based on? So long as you follow my way, you shall be blameless. So long as that government is following Romans 13, then I have no problem with them, and they wouldn't try to enforce what I don't wish to be forced upon me. Because I have equal rights. They know this. They know they're foreign to me. It's just logical. It's logical. That's why we all look different. Even twins look and act different. Sound different. Have different events in their lives that change their minds. Change their choices. A lot of twins will wear the same identical outfits. A lot of twins don't. There's some twins that grew up in separate homes. They were separated as children, grew up in different homes. Yet so many experiences in their lives were identical. But they were still foreign. Everybody is foreign. And if you don't get this concept and realize ye are gods, you create your own existence. You minister yourself. So think about this stuff. And we're going to talk about that next time. My next video, I'll talk about ministering. If you remember yesterday, we talked in the Foreign Sovereign Immunities Act. Foreign counselor on what was it? Foreign counselor on ministerial affairs, something like that. I'll look it up again, and we'll talk about that next, because that's through the diplomatic channels of notice. You got to talk to a foreign minister of affairs. Who's the foreign minister of affairs, and what is a minister? Think about that. Why is that one of the highest offices? So, remember, if it wasn't for you guys, I wouldn't be doing this. God bless y'all. Have a great night. Bye.